Good morning, everyone. I am in a very vulnerable state right now and dealing with something has really triggered me this week, and I want to talk about it. And I think it's important to talk about it, and I wanted to come on very real, and so here goes. I have no plan, and it's just real. So I think that a lot of us, well, I guess I'm just going to say me because this is kind of personal. So I have a realization. I've had a realization that I am afraid to speak my truth, and I've been noticing how much I want to speak and how much I want to help others and put myself out there, and I've been doing it a little, and also not at the capacity that I want to, because I have all these fears holding me back, and fear is just false evidence appearing real. And I have been really digging deep to look through what is happening and within me and why I have these fears. And I have been through some things in my life, and as a child and as an adult, some abuse and some really hard relationships and things that have happened that I learned from a very young age to that my opinions and my voice doesn't matter, and it's better to just be quiet and go unnoticed under the radar and don't say anything, because when you do say anything, you either look really stupid or you get judged really harshly, or you make yourself look like a fool, or you're gonna get punished for it. So it's better just to be quiet. And I lived a lot of my life that way. And so when I got older, and especially when I went through the loss of my son, and then afterwards going through all the healing and spiritual awakening even more, I wanted to use these experiences that I've been through to help others, because I want to make them as a way to help others or to be there for others. And so I wanted to talk about things that I've been through. And lately I hear so much, especially in groups that talk about awakening and stuff like that. think positive and yeah, stay in the now, which these are all good things. Being positive and focusing on the positive and being present. I mean, I am all about that, being in the now moment and not focusing on negative and not telling old stories, but telling new stories. And I agree, but I am making this video, not but, and I am making this video to clarify that a little bit. Because I have been struggling with this a lot lately. And I think that people who have been through similar things and are afraid of using their voice and afraid of speaking out, for whatever reason, they hear those kinds of things, that you're, tell a different story and don't focus on the negative. And so what happens is we ignore that part of ourselves and we learn to shut up again and close our mouth. Oh, I don't want to talk about my pains and my struggles, and because I'm telling a different story now and I want to be positive. And so we shut that out. And shutting it out is not the answer. I've done that recently and stopped talking and closed my voice off again because I was trying so hard to pretend like everything was great. And so that's something that we really need to look at. Shutting up and closing off is not the right answer. Not speaking about the things that are hurting you and the things that have hurt you and things that happened in the past that were terrible or great. To not talk about them because you're being present, that's not the answer. In order to release that, for me, in order to release the pain, it must be talked about. For me, I have so much to say and I have so much to share. And I'm going to tell you that after my son died, I tried so hard to be okay and to show the world that I was okay, because I had a little baby at home that saved my life, but I wanted everyone to think that I was fine and I was okay and that I could go on. And I went back to my corporate job, and after not even very much time off, and I went back to work and I buried myself in that, and I was trying so hard to keep afloat and show the world that, look, I am moving forward and I am focusing on the positive. Look at me, I'm smiling. And where my inside world was falling apart, I went through a divorce. I went through several really messed up situations, and stuff was hard, but I was still putting on my smiley face because I wanted the world around me to think that I was a superhero and that I was so fine. And I wanted to help others through grief. And so I was trying to show everyone how okay I was and how fine I was. And you know what happened? I broke because I wasn't fine and I was ignoring my inner child. I was ignoring my pain. I was ignoring my brokenness that I felt inside from losing my son. And I was ignoring the abuse that I had been through. And I was ignoring my voice because I wanted to look put together. And I started forgetting my job. I started forgetting everything. I couldn't function. I couldn't remember what I had told people the day before. I had to leave to stop working because I couldn't. I literally broke. And then at that moment, I was going through like some hard things in my relationship, and my dad passed away at the same time, and I was taking care of him the last little bit of his life here, and he passed away. And all anyways, I had to quit working because I couldn't function, and I went to doctors and I thought I had like some sort of early onset dementia, and because I couldn't remember anything, and I was not functioning. I couldn't speak. I literally broke. The pain of everything that was going on was so much, and I broke to pieces. I lost friendships because after my son died, it was like so painful to watch everyone move on, and so I stopped talking to everyone around me. My relationships broke. I did horrible things in relationships because I was so just not even, I was not functioning. But I was trying so hard to pretend like I was to the outside world because I wanted everyone to think that I was okay, and I wanted to be so positive, and I wanted to help others. And I'm telling you, like, if being an example is what helps others, speaking out and being real is what helps others. If you're just pretending to be happy, are you really happy? Because I wasn't. And I went to doctors to find out why I thought I had like dementia because I couldn't do my job that I'd done for 23 years before that. Like I forgot how to do everything. I literally would sit there and not be able to function. Like I couldn't remember what I was doing, and so I couldn't work, and I went to find out what was going on in my brain, and I was diagnosed with ADHD and autism, and I went down that rabbit hole and even wrote some books on it, and learned a lot about myself. And then it's this was in 2021 and 2022. And then when I was in that rabbit hole and learning so much about myself and my past and why I did things the way I did and why, I was learning about myself psychologically, um, it opened up more doors of uh, spiritually, and I went into like another awakening, and um, I had been sorry, I'm getting off sidetracked because there's so many parts of it. Anyway, I learned a lot about myself and autism and ADHD, and I really went into that for a while, and medication and versus not medication, and I got off of it all because I truly believe that we can heal ourselves and it's more of a spiritual thing. And then shortly after, during all of this, I got really, really sick, really, really sick. I couldn't walk across the room without suffocating, struggling for air, and I felt like I couldn't lay down flat, and I felt like there was an elephant just standing on my chest, squeezing. And in 2023, I ended up in the hospital, and they kept sending me away because I wasn't old enough to be experiencing these things. But finally, we realized that I had a blood clot in my lung, which put me in the hospital. And then from there, we learned that they call it heart failure, which is a terrible term because my heart is not failing. But I was in massive heart failure. My heart was only, the technical term for it is ejection fraction. My ejection fraction was only at 15%. And my heart was is enlarged, and has pockets all in it, and which blood clots can get created in. And I have a defibrillator now. Anyway, I was in massive amounts of pain and I couldn't breathe, and I had to go through that, and now I'm doing so much better. So and I've come so far since then. But the reason I'm saying it is not to stay stuck in the past. The reason I am here telling you about that I have been hurt, and that I've been through abuse, and that I have been diagnosed with ADHD and autism and heart failure, and I'm not saying that to stay stuck in those stories or to stay stuck in the past. What I am saying it for is to show you that I am a real human, and that I have been through real things, and that I have experienced loss and hurt and pain that is so much. And I want to say that because I am not still in that. I am in so much gratitude. My life is beautiful, and I have healed so much, and our bodies are so capable of healing themselves. Our spirits and our souls are so capable of healing themselves. And I have such an amazing, wonderful life, and I have a voice, and I am not scared to share it anymore. Sometimes I am scared to share, and I'm gonna do it anyways because I want to show you what I wish that I would have had. I wish I would have had someone say it's okay to talk about these things. It's okay to be hurt. Don't ignore the pain. Don't try to hide it and pretend that you're okay doing this, being positive and focusing your attention on what's good. Yes, focus your attention on what's good and not at the cost of ignoring what is eating you alive. Don't ignore it and shut up about it and pretend that it doesn't exist and let it fester in you, because what happens is you get heart failure. What happens is you forget everything and you can't function if you ignore those things. So you must let them out. And what I wish that I had during those times was safety, was a witness, was, and I did have those in little pieces, but I didn't do it for myself. I wasn't there for myself. And that is the most important, finding safety and being your own witness. And also having someone else witness your pain and say, I still love you and I see you. And that's what I want to be for you, or for you. Reach out to me, comment. I would love to just have to be there for one other person, to help someone feel not so alone and safe to feel their feelings. And then let's talk about feeling them and being present in the now and feeling them. Because what I have learned is when you go right into it, go right into the fear, go right into the pain, and you know what you find in there? You find light in there too. And once you acknowledge that inner child or that pain or that loss that you're feeling so deeply, it's you give it permission to let up. You give it permission to release. And let it release. Let it release. Go sit on the earth and let it release into her, because she can alchemize it into light. And it's a process. And you know, everyone's going through something. We're not all perfect and put together, and we don't become healed all the way one day. We're just totally healed and then we can help each other, because I believed that too, is that I couldn't help anyone else until I was all the way healed. Well, what would life be if we were always all the way healed? No, I'm a work in progress. And I'm learning new ways all the time. And let's do that for each other and be a voice anyway. And that's part of the reason I wanted to come on with, no makeup in my messy room. Like, I'm I have dirty laundry. I'm a real person. I have bags under my eyes. I have gray hair. Right now I'm in my pajamas, if I'm being totally honest. Like I'm a real person. And I know you all are out there too, and we're real people, and it's not about what we're pretending to be to look all perfect and put together to show anyone else how perfect we are. No, I'm a real person with real feelings that has been through real things. And I want to start something where we can all come together and be real people, because that's what we are. Be real people with real souls, with real things that have happened to us, that we don't want to live in the past and live in the hurt. And at the same time, I have been with my I've been helping my mom go through my grandparents' house today and looking at stuff from the past in my family, and looking at old pictures from the 30s and 40s, and just and pictures from my past and my grandparents and their grandparents, and it's fascinating to me. And going through those things, I don't think that maybe I am holding on to pieces of the past, but not for anything other than the love part of it. Like reading those stories, reading my grandparents' love letters. I mean, that's life-changing for me to see that people that I loved and cared about, that were such a big part of my life, mattered, and they still matter, and they still exist, because I can feel them with me right now. And getting to spend time with my own mom in those, like, that matters in the now. So pieces of our past are what made us. And so it's okay to go back and remember, because you know what? Those things are never lost. My son that passed away, he is with me every day. He is here right now. And I love thinking about memories and things like that. So the good times that we had together, and so those things are so important. They make us who we are now, and they are not lost. They are right here. And we can bring them into the now and let go of the things that are no longer serving us and we no longer need. We can let go of those things and be in the now moment and bring that joy and love into the now moment, and then create more from it. I think that it's so important to acknowledge the things that have hurt us in order to let them go, and speak about the things that have hurt us in order to let them go and process them. So don't ignore them. Don't shut your voice. Just, yeah, reach out. Let's talk. Leave me a comment. I'm still figuring this all out too, but I would love to, that was my point of this video, is to really find a way to let you know it's okay. Let me know it's okay to talk about these things in order to release them, and then you know how much more positive and light you feel when you've been able to release things and acknowledge them and witness them, so that you can let them go. And I would love to talk about these things and like start something where we can talk about these things and maybe be a witness for you. Just, yeah. Anyway, I hope that you got something from this, and I am planning to make more videos and talk more about this. And yeah, if you feel like leaving a comment, do that. And I just hope you have a really good day, and namaste.